Hey guys, how you doing? It's Brad with ATRE Podcast.com. All things real estate. Really excited about my next guest. Her name is Gogo Bethke from Gogo's Real Estate at Exp Realty in Michigan. Now, Gogo Bethke is the founder of Gogo's Real Estate Team. Gogo has been in business since 2011 and made the top 3% in the nation the last 3 years in a row. She's conducted over 200 transactions, equaling about 56 million. She's recently begun expanding her team to meet her client's needs and make her more efficient. So in 2019, Dwayne, her husband, joined the team, leaving 20 years of corporate America behind. Now, Pound Team Gogo at Exp Realty, she was named Social Media Queen. Now, with Gogo's, your home will not only get posted only on every website possible, but you'll also be exposed to tens of thousands of her followers. She has tens of thousands of followers. So your home's going to get the maximum possible exposure. Her motto is go with Gogo for all your real estate needs. Welcome, Gogo.
Thank you for having me. The numbers need to be updated. I see my bio still says 56 million. We just surpassed 75. So
like it. Good job. Now you're a brave woman, and I kind of did the same as you. In 2019 brought my wife into the business. So
yeah,
how's that going?
Bite the bullet kind of situation, because we were ready long before then, but to have both of you on a like no more salary, no more health insurance, no more company vacations, no more cruises to Alaska, like none of that. And health insurance was a big chunk for us. Our oldest is type 1 diabetic. So we had to have very good health insurance. So as soon as our brokerage came out with health insurance, I was like, it's time. I think it's God trying to tell us something. Yeah. So he quit his job, and here we are now. I call it a full-time retired realtor, because real estate for him, it's, he's like, how did you do this for 10 years? Like all of this ego and bottom line. And I was
crazy,
like,
isn't it?
You have no idea, but I can be anyone's best friend for $12,000.
That's exactly right. I always just go look at the big picture, right? Go.
How sign up their head. I'm like, yep, for 90 days, I'll be your best friend.
How has COVID affected your business over in Michigan?
We had the best year ever.
Yeah, me too. That's
yeah.
Great. Were you a little worried? We were all a little worried, right? When COVID first struck, we weren't sure how it was going to affect.
I mean, I'm not very a worrisome kind of person. I adjust very easily. I was just like, oh, time to adjust the sails. We are going now this direction.
Right.
From a different angle. So I always just look at it of like, if you're paying attention to what's going on, you just adjust your sales and start selling, the opposite direction. There's homes to be sold anywhere under any market. I always also call it like fishing. You might have to change the lake you're fishing on. You might change your lure and your fishing line. You might adjust your, fishing schedule to the temperatures, the time of the day, but you can always catch a fish.
So you over at EXP, I guess you build teams, right? You build.
Yeah.
So what advice could you give to someone who's thinking of getting into real estate? Maybe they want to call and be a part of Gogo's team, or any team. What advice could you give them of thinking of getting into real estate?
Yeah, so when I joined or got licensed, I should say, I had too much ego. So I never joined a team. I figured I will, make a name for myself or die trying, but I am certainly not building somebody else's brand. Right. And so that's how I looked at it. Now, if I could go back, I still feel the same way, but with a little bit of a difference of I am a sponge for information. So I would join a team now if I was brand new. I would join a team for 6 months to a year. I would take on another 9 to 5, so sad. Because when you join a team, they tell you what to wear, what time to be there, what you need to do between 9 and 11, and what you do at 11 to noon, and so on and so forth. But for that, they literally spoon feed you leads, they spoon feed you knowledge, you gain the experience, and then you can go out on your own and be your own boss. Plus now you can take all that information, all that knowledge you learned on the team and implement it in your own business. So if I was brand new, I would probably start on a team. Did I do that? No. But did I do it the hard way? I did. So take it.
It's like going to every buyer's agent I've ever had and every assistant I've ever had. I sit them in my office and just tell them to be quiet and listen. And they always tell me, they go, it's like going to Brad Roth University, right? Because they hear you. And like you said, you're a sponge. I did the same thing. I would just try to listen to people and figure out what it took to be who they are and then add my own twist to it.
Exactly. So we have two different kind of teams. What we call Gogo's real estate team, or GRAT, the shortening of Gogo's real estate team. That's our local team in Michigan. So I don't personally work on transactions anymore. I generate all the leads, and then the team works on them. I do help them negotiate and market. We also have our team meetings. If they ever need me with any questions, I'm a phone call away. So I'm still very much involved. I'm just not legs on the ground.
Oh,
And so for that, we do have an actual what's called a standard team inside of the EXP brokerage model. And all of the agents that are on team, they're half cappers. So they don't have a full cap. They don't have a 16,000 cap. They have an 8,000 cap. And also we take a cut depending on how the lead was generated. So it can be anywhere from 40 to 60 to 50 to 60 40%, just depending. So that's great. The other one that we have what's called Team Gogo. That's our nationwide organization or group. These are agents that decided to join the brokerage with me. From them, I do not take a cut. Everybody's an individual agent or team leader or broker owner or whatever their status is. They just decided to join EXP with me. So that's what we call Team Gogo. And on there, we have over 370 agents now.
and what area does Team GoGo or Team GoGo's team specialize in Michigan?
Yeah, so every state in the US, and then we also have quite a few agents now covering Canada.
Oh, that's great. And you, so you have your own agents in all of those places?
Yes, yeah. So they're not my own agents. So said they joined EXP. So I don't know how familiar you are with the model, but
Well,
EXP,
I am, but what I'm trying to get at is
yeah,
rather than giving EXP like a buyer, I want to give GoGo a buyer or seller. So
got it. Yeah.
what does
So
your team handle? What areas?
exactly. So we cover, so the grad Gogo's real estate team is the local team that I personally manage, and that is I'm the team leader of, and that's in Livingston County, Michigan mostly. We also cover Oakland County, Michigan,
Okay.
but we can absolutely help you anywhere. So if I
Yeah.
can help you anywhere in the US, don't hesitate, reach out. We'll have a rock star agent, and they'll take
And
great care.
do you consider, well, I guess now you're a team leader. Do you have mainly buyer's agents or listing agents that work for you or both?
Both. Yeah. So I don't personally work on any transactions anymore because we now live in Florida for the winters, and most of our transactions are Livingston County,
Yeah.
Michigan. So for that we have to have legs on the ground. So they do listing side and buy side.
That's wonderful. And so, what are you telling your agents? So, obviously, you've been around a while, you're pretty experienced, and you do a great job. Um, what are you telling your agents to do to prepare for a successful 2021? I mean, we're in January now. Hopefully, you had that talk with them in November, right? But what would you tell someone today that said, "Hey, I'm in real estate. I'm not sure quite what to do to have a successful year"? What would you tell them?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think it's successful year, but successful future in real estate. I believe that you have to have your own brand. So we preach that at Gogo's Real Estate and on Team Gogo. Everybody has their own brand, and that is the whole point. Because when you build your brand, no third party company or organization can ever take that away from you. So when right now Zillow having this issue of like, oh, where are my sales or where are my reviews and what just happened? How am I going to generate my next lead without any reviews on my site? Um, that doesn't bother me at all. Like it doesn't affect my business whatsoever because it wasn't built around that. I have never bought a lead. And that's what we teach our whole group. We have meetings every single Wednesday and every Friday, different subjects, but Wednesdays are can't think production based. So how to sell the next house, negotiations, title, pretty much anything tied to a transaction. Every Friday is more of a team building mastermind. So it's pretty much when you have that brand and it's a solid brand and you built it, and these people follow you organically, you always know where your next transaction is going to come from, and no third party company is going to take that away from you. And we do that with the power of social media. So that's how I guess I made my name for myself in the industry. It was Instagram and Facebook, and we have a course around that, so everybody just is trained to continue doing that and building a solid brand around their own name.
Gogo, there's a lot of buyers and sellers that listen to my podcast because they're not quite sure what to do. If there was any advice you could give a seller who was getting ready to interview an agent or sell their house, what advice would you give that seller?
To Google the agent. If you can't find the agent, how are you going to find your home? How the potential buyer is going to find your home?
You think it's important that they Google their agent so they can find their agent, or they can't sell you, obviously, their home. What other advice?
That they can sell their home, they could, but the question is how fast and for how much. You know what I mean? So if that agent doesn't exist on social media, your biggest pool of buyers right now is the millennials. So if the millennial is not going to call you and have a phone conversation with you and meet in person and make eye contact, is not what they do. That's not their
They
culture.
text. They
Yeah,
like to
there's
text and
genre. So if you don't exist on social media, you don't exist to an agent. So if that agent can promote your home on social media, so when we list something and I promote it on my social media, we have instantly over a million. I hit about 1 million accounts every single month. So the difference between me sharing something or posting something or listing a home versus an agent that has no social media presence, yes, it's going to make it to Zillow, and yes, it's going to make it to realtor.com, and yes, it's listed in the MLS, but that's not where the eyeballs are that you need. Some person might see it on my Instagram. They might not even be on the market looking for a home, but when they see your home, they're like, they suddenly on the market because now they want it. And that's the
Gogo, I forgot to mention, I watched you on YouTube. So I saw a couple of videos. You like to drive and talk. I saw
oh, I
you,
yeah.
you did a video the
That's
other
the
day.
Oval Office.
You sit down, you're like, hello, I just like to tell you. And I start laughing. I thought that was really good. So, but that's great. And that's something I try to teach agents as well is, when I started, we didn't even have the internet, right? So we, I was really boots on the ground, just pulling out the phone book, calling people, would you like to sell your home? Nowadays, you and I can go on and have a podcast or go on YouTube, and we, aren't afraid to go up and say, hey, look, you have a mobile office wherever you are, right? Doesn't
Mhm.
matter.
This is my office right here.
You're always working. You got a great background in your office. Look at those palm trees blowing.
Thank God for technology.
See? So what advice could you give a buyer who's looking to buy their first home? What would you say to a buyer who says, hey, I
I
want to.
think on the buy side, I mean, both side negotiations is very, very, very important. But especially now, I want you to interview an agent that is seasoned and that knows what to do in a multi-bidding situation. Because right now, I can't talk for every market, but especially in Michigan where we run our transactions, it is so hard. Like,
Here too.
coming in at asking price, it's not going to cut it. Coming in above asking price, it's not going to
Not gonna
cut it.
cut it. Yeah.
If you
I
can't,
told you I just sold my own for 100,000 over list price or
yeah,
130.
if you can't come in with escalation clauses and removing contingencies and taking away the appraisal contingency, they won't even look at your offer. And a brand new agent is not going to know how to do that.
You know that
So
I am not a fan of escalation clauses, by the way.
no, I
Uh-uh.
am all day, every day. I
I
want
don't. I would
to.
reject. I would reject it because
That's your,
you know why?
but
Only
But
because
when I sign a contract with the sellers, I sign it for their best interest.
of course.
And their best interest is to get the most amount of money for the least amount of house. So
No.
if I would refuse an escalation
No,
clause,
no, no. Your job as an agent is to get them the most amount of money with the fewest amount of problems with the
exactly, that's what
best
escalation.
terms. No, not always. An escalation clause, it depends on how you do it, but sometimes an escalation clause will just say, I will go up to 1.1 million. I will go $1,000 higher than any offer you have, up to 1.1 million. But what if someone else was hired to begin with and had a 10-day escrow, all cash? There's different
Exactly.
terms.
That's
There's
why
things
it's
you have
not
to.
highest. That's why it's best and highest.
Yeah.
The highest are not always the best. But you
Correct.
can put the escalation clause and say, hey, I am willing to remove all the contingencies. I am willing to offer 10,000 over the highest bid with proof of the first page of the highest bid purchase agreement. I'm willing to remove the appraisal clause. I will not do an inspection, and I can close in 10 days.
That's different. And that's different. So I guess what I should tell you is this: escalation clauses I hate because I never want to be pigeonholed into having to take one person who may not be just like you said about agents. So you could have the best offer, and I could know the other agent has a little bit less of money down or whatever. But I know the agent's a great agent. They're easy to work with. Their clients gonna get it closed. And I can say to my client, look, you're already getting this amount over list price. Do you want this agent who's been really tough? They're unprofessional. I really don't want to work with them. Or do you want to take this guy who I can pretty much vouch for because I've worked for him before? And a lot of times the agents will say, look, I'm going with who you recommend because you're the one who has to deal with them, which is nice. I think that's a big thing with you and I with our experience, right? You have to give your clients the best advice.
Yeah, the best. And it's at the end of the day, it's their decision to choose.
Yeah.
I can do in the face tell them
But
what
I
to
like
choose.
your style. Your attitude is I'm going to do whatever it takes
Absolutely.
to get the job done.
They
And
hire me to have a great experience and make the most amount of money with the least amount of hustle.
because a lot of agents believe that it's just, especially newer agents, that it's just price. And they'll call me and go, why didn't I get it? I know I had the highest price. I go, well, first of all, you don't know that. But second of all, you've been a pain in my butt this whole time. You've been calling me, you've been yelling at me. You haven't taken direction at all. And I really don't want to work with you. And I told my client that I felt that this offer was better. So that can shoot aggressiveness in the wrong way, can shoot an agent in the foot, right? And they just have to tweak it just a little and try to be kind and understand listing agents that we're all so busy, as you know. You run a team. So
Yeah.
so Gogo, if you were Marty, but you're Gogo from Back
Yeah.
to the Future, and you old Gogo or older Gogo had to go back to a, let's say, 15-year-old Gogo and give her some life advice on real estate or on whatever, what advice would you give young Gogo?
Then you can have absolutely anything you believe you can have.
That's right. That's great.
And the problem is believing that you can have it.
Yes. So
That's the key word in there.
So you'd give young Gogo some self-esteem tips. Some, hey, don't worry about anything. Everything's going to be great, and you can do anything you want in life.
Yeah, if you believe you can.
I love it. It's wonderful.
So if you see yourself beachside right here in your oceanfront property, if you can see it, you can have it. If you can't see it, you can't have it. It's that simple. So then you're going to have to train your brain to be able to see yourself at those levels of life.
That's right.
And
yeah.
with that being said, now you need to know what you want.
Yeah, that's been my motto for years. If you could see it, you could be it.
Yeah.
Gogo, how could somebody get a hold of you if they wanted to buy or sell in Michigan or anywhere in the country? What could they do to get a hold of you?
Absolutely. The best one is, I mean, if you just Google Gogo's Real Estate, you find us on all kinds, anything from the .com to all the social media platforms. The only one that I don't have a virtual assistant on is Instagram. So if you want to get directly a hold of me, it's Gogo's Real Estate on Instagram. But also you can go to gogosrealestate.com, gogosrealestateteam.com, gogobethke.com, you name it, anything with those names, I own it. So you pretty much have an easy way of finding me, but direct access to me would be Instagram.
And I encourage you guys to reach out to Gogo. She's fantastic. She is a go-getter. I almost said Gogo's getter, but she's a go-getter. And I'm sure her husband is wonderful as well. And we'll meet him next time. And remember, guys, go to my website, ATREpodcast.com. And you can also sign up for a free introductory coaching session. And if any of my listeners would like to sign up for my 5 free videos, I send out 5 videos every couple of days on how to be successful in real estate. Go to ATREpodcast.com and sign up now and really get in touch with Gogo because she is great. Thank you so much, Gogo.
Thank you so much for having me.
Listen, it's been a pleasure, and I wish you the best this year.
Thank you. Same to you.